Well, it's round 3 of the FIA European Drag Racing Championship from Sweden. The track is about an hour from Stockholm. We start with the quarterfinals of Pro Stock. The first race between Kjetil Hauer from Norway and Nicholas Anderson from Sweden. Anderson is the current Pro Stock Championship leader, and although Kjetil managed to get through to the finals in round 1 at Mantorp Raceway in England, it has to be said that Anderson should take this win. Quick reminder about Pro Stock: the cars can run the quarter mile in around 7 seconds, running with a top speed of 200 miles per hour. That's around 300 kilometers per hour. After the burnout, the cars reverse back to the starting area for a final check over by the crew chiefs. The cars then roll forwards towards the first photoelectric beam. When the cars break this beam, they're in what's called the pre-stage, and the top row of yellow lights will light on the lighting column, which is known as the Christmas tree. And then one car rolls forward to break the next beam, and they're then said to be in full stage. And at that stage, the starter pushes the start button, the 3 amber lights flash on, then the green, and then the race is on the green light. So it's very important to get your preparation right, to get your burnout right. Big crowds in Sweden, very much a family sport, this one. So it's Anderson against Kjetil Hauer. And Anderson away from the lights, leaving Kjetil Hauer trailing. The Norwegian is out, and the Swede will take a comfortable win to move into the semi-finals. Now let's have a look at that with the slow motion camera. We can see Anderson there at the top, just fractionally quicker out of the lights. It's won and lost on the lights, is this. And reaction time is everything. There's a fraction of a second at the start, as it happened there, can mean meters at the end. Now Lena Nystrom from Finland, one of the only lady racers in Pro Stock, against one of the top runners, Jari Kunola from Sweden. Lena drives a Trans Am, Kunola has a Dodge Avenger. On current form, Jari should win comfortably, but Lena has matched Kunola's 34 points when they last raced in Finland. Many would think here, very hot day, it would be good to see Nystrom win, as drag racing attracts a lot of female competitors. Well, someone has to move forward to put it into pre-start. Their hearts will be racing. Who will pre-stage first? And Kunola it is. And it's going to be, who's going to be 2? What's that light on? Kunola also goes to the stage first. Now they're ready to go as soon as she moves in. Nystrom, can she do it? Nystrom, and she got out the blocks faster, but I think it's going to be Kunola. My goodness, it's close. My goodness, it's close. A very fast lady, but I think possibly her reaction time quicker than Kunola's, but Kunola 7.25 seconds, and an optimum speed quicker getting to the end there. But can't take away the good start from Lena Nystrom, but Kunola has it. Next up, the only serious contenders to Anderson in the championship, Michael Malmgren from Sweden. He meets Jacob Ferrer, who's also from Sweden. Michael, who was second in Sweden, really had needed to win to try and close the gap on Anderson. He comes here over 30 points behind Anderson. He needs to finish up front, but first he must get through to the next round. Well, the crew chiefs wave the drivers forward, helping them to move up towards the first pre-stage line. Remember, that pre-stage got to be engaged by 1. Ferrer had a bad accident here last year when his car overturned at the end. He's currently 4th in the series. Malmgren stages first, putting Ferrer under pressure. And at the green, it's Malmgren away first. The power of the Oldsmobile Cutlass is too much, and Ferrer is out. Well, on the slow-mo, we can see the difference in reaction times. Malmgren the quicker. And Malmgren is who goes through. This is what the ladder looks like after the quarterfinals. Anderson will get a bye run, and Malmgren will meet Kunola. Now, Top Fuel and championship leader Gordy Bonnen from North America is in the right lane as we look at them on the screen, and he's meeting Robin Reed. Robin, new to the championship this year, has his car tuned by American-built Schultz, who has built up a tremendous reputation in the States, and therefore the car is a bit of an unknown quantity. Bonnen will not take this win for granted, I can tell you that. Now, as the cars move forward, it's Reed who goes into the pre-stage first. Reed moves into the stage now. Bonnen follows, and at the green they're both away, but Bonen's in trouble with engine problems. That let go altogether there. So, an upset for Bonnen. The Englishman Reed wins. Let's take a look at that run again. We can see that it's the blower belt on the Prolong car which is broken. And lucky for him, but Reed moves into the semi-finals. Now, Bonnen's early departure gives last year's champion Barry Sheebles in the right lane, as we look at the cars, a chance he needs to catch up in the series. He's trailing badly, and had Bonnen won here, the championship would all but have been over. Barry needs to win this badly. He cannot afford to lose. Next to him is the Finn, Tommy Harpanen. Sheebles stages first, and they are away, but Sheebles lights up his tyres. Bad luck. Harpanen will cruise through, and the Englishman knows that he has missed his chance. A cruel blow for him. Too much power from the 6,000 horsepower motor. They had been trying to take power out of the car so that it doesn't overpower the track, but they got it wrong. Another Englishman, Alan Jackson, on a bye run. Qualifying first gives him a clear run into the semis, but he has to run up the strip anyway. Qualifying took place yesterday, and the blistering heat in Sweden has caused all sorts of problems for these volatile motors. The heat also means the track is not as sticky, and the cars are always hunting for grip. The Top Fuel ladder looks like this. Jackson and Reed, Tommy Harpanen with a bye. Well, first we see Nicholas Anderson on his bye run. Quietly spoken Anderson, in his mid-20s, is so consistent that he is firm favourite for the championship. He was beaten in Finland in the semi-finals, so he's not invincible. There you go, two directions, forward and backward. No corners necessary in this form of racing. A very, very warm day indeed. There's Nicholas Anderson. Going to get as much air in the car as possible. Should be a fairly easy run. Well, he takes the start. It is an easy run. No problems there. And the question is, can Malmgren get through to meet him in the final? Now let's have a look at Malmgren in the blue and white car, up against Jarni Canola. Malmgren should take this one, but he's been having trouble setting up his clutch. Clutch settings are crucial in drag racing as they try and match the power of the engine to the traction available on the track. Each track is different, that's the burnout. And the less the grip, the more the power has to be eased in. Malmgren really wants this one against Canola. See the concentration there. Jarni Canola, Swede against Swede. A duel on a home track. Just the breath of wind there you can see in the flags. That's the Christmas tree right in front of you. This is Pro Stock. And the cars starting to move forward. It's Canola into pre-stage first. Remember, Malmgren needs to win. Canola just easing it forward there. He stages first. Now the other car's got to come in, and then the starter will bounce. Malmgren in. Closing seconds, both cars are evenly matched. The Oldsmobile can get the power down. And they're away. And the Oldsmobile can't get that power down properly. And Canola is going to take the win. Bad news from Malmgren. Well, on the slow motion, you can see how the two drivers left the line. .502. Malmgren didn't react as quickly as Canola, and the result, as it often is, he who reacts fastest wins off the line. In the final, Anderson versus Ari Canola. What an interesting final. For the moment, we're going to give you a special treat. We're going to go in car with Anderson. So, put your cup of tea down and fasten your safety belts. These cars are as sophisticated as touring cars, but much more powerful. Difficult to handle. The short wheelbase cars need good reactions and good driving ability to keep them as straight as possible. Racers can be lost by a thousandth of a second. We spoke to FIA Championship runner Keith Bartlett.
They've run very well all the season, but Nicholas Anderson, he's just driving the best I've ever seen him drive. The car's running well. Conclusive win, Nicholas Anderson.
Oh, don't hedge your bets. And he hasn't. And as the cars back up, the drivers will be thinking about who will stage first. That's getting into a position to force the start. Anderson was caught out by Tommy Lane in Finland, who teased him on the line. And it's easy to play games with the other drivers on the lights. Cat and mouse stuff. So who will stage first? Malmgren will be willing Canola to take this win. He can't afford to let Anderson pull away in the championship. Chief's hearts will be beating as well. Will it be Canola, or will it be Anderson who pre-stages first? That's the pre-stage, and the other has to come in. It's Canola who pre-stages. I think it's going to be Canola who moves up into stage. Waiting on the green. There's the green and away. Both cars away together. Great race, great racing, but it's Anderson again, who's looking like he's going to get it. Yes, over the line. They release the clutches to scrub off the 200-mile-per-hour top speed. Essential to brake quickly here in Sweden, as the run of off area is very, very short. The cars have to take a right-hand bend at the end of the runoff. Too fast, and they can run into the sand trap. Well, that was a good win. Anderson's reaction time quicker than Canola's, and the end result the same. Let's hear from Anderson on his thoughts on yet another victory.
It was very close, I think so. I don't know what is the time and what is the reaction time. It was tough, I think so.
Certainly was tough in the championship. Anderson now has over 80 points on Malmgren. Ferrer third, Canola fourth, 166 points each. On to top fuel straight away. Moving straight to the final, and Robin Reed has irreparably damaged his car in the quarters, giving both finalists bye runs in the semis. We have Tommy Happening in the left lane against Alan Jackson. To find out the form, we spoke with Keith Bartlett again and got his view.
That's going to be a very close call. Tommy Happening's run very well all the weekend, but with Bill Schultz tuning Alan Jackson to the way he's been tuning him, Alan Jackson's going to take that race.
What I like about Keith Bartlett, always leading with his chin. See whether he's right. Remember, these cars can accelerate 0 to 100 mile an hour in less than a second, pulling 4 Gs. They run on an explosive mix of nitromethane. This is going to be hard fought. So the cars break the pre-stage beam. Both drivers will step up their fuel pumps, and the cars start to drink a gallon of nitro every second. Jackson into the pre-stage first. And Jackson stages first. And at the green, they'll floor the throttle to about 6,000 horsepower. And that is close, very, very close. Jackson by a second. What a race. Well, on the slow-mo, we can see how the cars twist as they leave the line. Jackson marginally ahead all the way. A great run. Let's hear from Jackson.
It felt real close. I saw his nose about 3/4 track, and I just kept it nailed. And when I actually came down here, they told me I'd lost, but subsequently I have won. So I'm over the moon.
In the series, Jackson now becomes a big threat to Bonin, only 37 points behind. The series now moves on the next round in Norway. Make sure you join us on British Eurosport. More to come.